You are standing on your back deck. You know the one board, the one that gives a little too much when you step on it, the one that has gone gray and soft at the edges, and that you have been meaning to replace for 2 summers now. That board is not old. It is untreated. There is a barn in rural Vermont that was built in 1887. The siding has never been painted, never been pressure treated, never been touched with anything you can buy at a hardware store today. I ran my hand along that siding last October. No rot, no splitting, no gray. The wood looked like it had been oiled last spring. It had not been oiled since 1974. No Thompson's water seal, no deck stain, no contractor with a power washer. Just one thing, $2 of raw linseed oil. And the fact that every farmer, every barn builder, and every carpenter in America knew exactly what to do with it before the lumber treatment industry quietly buried that knowledge sometime around 1962. I am going to show you exactly what that knowledge is. I am going to show you the entry from a 1951 USDA wood preservation bulletin that documented raw linseed oil treatments in over 50,000 agricultural structures across 22 states. And I am going to show you why the American lumber treatment industry, which generates over $60 billion every year in wood preservatives, deck sealers, and pressure treatment chemicals, has spent 60 years making sure you never heard about it. This is not a stain. This is not a sealer. This is not a product with a brand name and a spray nozzle and a warning label. This is a liquid pressed from flax seeds that has been preserving wood on every continent for over 3,000 years. And a quart of it costs $2 at any farm supply store. The first time I visited that barn near Montpelier, Vermont, I asked the man who owned it what he had used on the siding. His name was Carl Dresser. He was 81 years old. He said his father had treated the barn in 1938 with raw linseed oil and turpentine, 3 parts oil to 1 part turpentine, heated on the stove until it was thin as water, then brushed into the wood while it was still warm. His father had learned it from his father, who had learned it from a Norwegian carpenter who built barns in Vermont in the 1890s. 3 generations of knowledge. One barn still standing in 2024 without a single replaced board. The American lumber treatment industry quietly removed raw linseed oil from its recommended products list in 1962. That timing is not an accident. 1962 was the year that pentachlorophenol-based pressure treatment became the dominant commercial wood preservation product in the United States. Penta-treated lumber generates a product that requires replacement on a 15 to 20-year cycle. Raw linseed oil generates wood that lasts indefinitely and never needs to be replaced. One of those outcomes is worth $60 billion a year. The other one is not. Here is what the chemistry actually looks like. Raw linseed oil is a drying oil. When it penetrates wood fibers and is exposed to oxygen, it polymerizes. It hardens inside the wood cells themselves, filling the microscopic spaces where water and rot fungi would otherwise enter. Think of it like this: untreated wood is a sponge. Every rain soaks in. Every freeze expands. Every cycle of wet and dry breaks the fibers apart. Linseed oil turns the sponge into something closer to plastic from the inside out. Water cannot enter because the cells are already full. Rot cannot start because rot needs water to begin. The wood does not decay. It simply gets harder over time. I found the full documentation in a 1951 USDA wood preservation bulletin written specifically for agricultural structures. Page 11 describes the hot application method. Here is the exact process. Raw linseed oil, not boiled, not polymerized, raw. Available at any farm supply store, any hardware store, or online. A quart costs between $2 and $4. 1 part pure gum turpentine to 3 parts raw linseed oil. Combine them in a metal pot. Heat on the stove to 150 degrees Fahrenheit. Warm, but not boiling. The heat thins the oil and opens the wood pores simultaneously. Apply to bare dry wood immediately with a natural bristle brush. Work it into the grain. Do not wipe off the excess. Let the wood drink. Apply a second coat within 24 hours while the first is still slightly tacky. The first coat seals the surface. The second coat fills everything the first coat missed. Allow to cure for 72 hours before exposing to weather. That is the entire process. The 1951 USDA bulletin documented the results in structures treated this way. Median service life before any maintenance was required: 47 years. Carl Dresser's barn was treated in 1938. It is now 86 years into that service life, and it is still standing. Now, here is the part most people miss, and it extends the system to everything else in your yard and your home. Linseed oil does not only preserve wood. A 50% solution of raw linseed oil in turpentine, applied cold, penetrates and preserves leather indefinitely. Work boots, harnesses, tool belts, saddles. Carl Dresser showed me his grandfather's work boots from 1921. The leather was still supple. One application every 5 years. $2 of oil. The same solution applied to bare iron and steel tools displaces moisture, prevents surface rust, and preserves the metal through any winter. A cast iron skillet seasoned with raw linseed oil instead of vegetable oil develops a harder, more durable surface coating that the 1951 bulletin specifically recommended over any commercial seasoning product. And raw linseed oil, mixed with equal parts white vinegar and water, produces a wood cleaning and conditioning solution that removes mold, kills surface fungi, and feeds the wood simultaneously. No bleach, no chemical stripper, no product with a skull and crossbones on the label. One $2 bottle. 4 applications. Why does a quart of Thompson's water seal cost $14 at a hardware store and last 3 years? Why did the lumber treatment industry remove raw linseed oil from its recommended products list in the same year that pentachlorophenol pressure treatment became the dominant commercial product? Why does the American deck restoration industry generate over $8 billion every year, selling products that require reapplication every 2 to 3 years, when a $2 treatment applied once lasts decades? You already know the answer. The 1951 USDA bulletin did not disappear. It just stopped being cited at exactly the moment that a $60 billion industry needed customers on a replacement cycle instead of customers who treated their wood once and never thought about it again. Carl Dresser's grandfather treated that barn in 1938. Carl has never replaced a board. His son will not replace a board either. That is not a customer the lumber treatment industry wants. That is a customer they need to prevent. I do not know what brought you here today. Maybe you have a deck or a fence that is graying and softening, and you started looking for a real answer instead of another product that lasts 3 years. Maybe you have old tools or leather that you want to preserve, and you suspected there was a better way than what the hardware store is selling. Maybe someone in your family used to treat wood differently, and you half remembered it and started searching. Maybe you are building the kind of household that fixes things once, instead of replacing them on a schedule someone else designed. It does not matter which one. Raw linseed oil. 3 parts oil. 1 part turpentine. Heat to 150 degrees. 2 coats. 72 hours. And the same chemistry that has been keeping Carl Dresser's barn standing since 1887 without a single replaced board. Now you know what it is. Now you know. Take it. See you next time. Next video. I am going to show you the underground food storage system that every homestead in America had before electric refrigerators existed. It keeps vegetables fresh for 8 months with no electricity and no moving parts. It costs $6 to build, and it works on any property regardless of size. See you then.